I was in the room when it started, and then you came to my house unannounced and tried to get me to say somebody else started that foundation that did it. Right. And I'm saying this for the record. Okay. Yeah, so you're trying to say anything about me for somebody else. I don't support you because of you. I don't support you because, again, you act like you don't make decisions. You make every decision. And maybe you didn't execute it, but I was there. I was your assistant for 2 years. So you sit up here week after week. You sit up here month after month and pretending. I've been kind to you. I've been patient. And I'm going to continue to be that way. For you to get up here and say, I'm not supporting you any other reason because of you, it's wrong. Because I don't support you because of you. Not for Keith Freeman, not for anybody else. I don't support you because...
So like she said, I don't support you because of you, because you're not an honest person. You don't do what you say you're going to do. She was in those rooms. But was she really in those rooms for the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation? This foundation that Tiffany Henyard claims she don't know nothing about. It ain't her. She ain't do it. She don't know nothing. Let me remind y'all of a clip of an interview that she did with Roland Martin where she spoke on this.
How you're being framed. You are being called crazy, deranged, saying that you are stealing funds. You also have a charity that from the Attorney General's office is, I understand they sent a cease and desist letter to your foundation.
I don't know nothing about that. I'm not crazy. I'm not deranged.
Tiffany Henyard, so the Attorney General's office hasn't reached out to you regarding your foundation?
I want to set the record straight. I don't have a foundation. I am a supporter of anybody that's struggling with cancer. My mom had breast cancer, and I'm always push anybody that has that. If someone uses my name to push their charity, or if you say this is Tiffany t-shirt, people gonna buy it. Consider what? Clickbait. People make money off of my name by views. So you just say my name.
You saying you don't have a foundation?
I do not. And that's why I tell everybody to go do your research.
I am saying Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation.
Now she said it. You heard it from her mouth to your lips. I ain't on anything. I don't have no foundation. I don't know nothing. They just using my name. I'm clickbait, whatever. Yeah, she is clickbait. I'm baiting those clicks too. But it's real information. She's really doing wrong. People need to know what's happening so they can understand how to interact with their local government. It is so important on a local level to understand who's doing what and why. She says she don't know nothing, but maybe we heard her wrong. Maybe we didn't understand. Let's try to clarify what she said.
Who was that?
What do you mean? Everybody was there.
No. What I'm saying is, what is the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation? You said it's not affiliated with you at all.
Someone made up a foundation. They named it after me, and they like my work that I do in the community. It's called Tiffany Henyard Cares.
But they weren't registered. Have you contacted them and told them you can't use my name improperly?
My lawyer's handling a lot of that stuff, so all I can tell you is that I'm not the one on anything.
There's a foundation that's not registered, but it has nothing to do with you.
Correct.
So you're not aware of any of the work that they've done, money that they've raised, anything along those lines?
Correct.
Okay, so we're clear now. She says she ain't aware of the money that they raised, anything that they've done. I don't know. Somebody set it up. We don't know. So we're clear. She claims she don't know something on one level. But then she had a councilman meeting with the board of trustees for the village of Dolton, and she bragged on this. Remember that part?
One that I'm really, really big on, that's dear to my heart, is I'm real big on a cancer foundation. I have created Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation, and what that entails is helping everybody within the 17 municipalities with services and resources. If you need help paying for chemo, radiation, your medicine, your wigs, your prosthetic, your breasts, things of that nature, even helping you with housing. Because I know firsthand how that feels to just not have help when my mom had breast cancer. So I want to make sure that I put that out there to the public and to everybody, that it goes to any 17 municipality. You cannot live in Chicago to benefit from this foundation. It's strictly for people that live in the 17 communities.
So you heard her say, first, I don't know nothing. Then she's saying, no, this is what I did. We don't know what to believe in. That's why she has such a transparency issue. Because one thing when you say it in a small room or something, or you misstep, or you get nervous, you get uncomfortable, you drop the bag. It's something totally different when you do it. And you're on a national platform saying this. You're on the news saying this. And then she's saying, I don't even know who did it. Somebody took my name. Okay. So when you have an organization, you have to have what's called letters of incorporation. Letters of incorporation is just a record registering your business with the state and the Fed so they know who to tax, who to communicate with in case there's an issue. I wonder who's that registered agent. Let's look and see who that registered agent is.
The foundation is a Keith Freeman. Keith Freeman works for the city of Dolton. If you look at the boards of the directors, there are 5 people: Kamal Woods, Pamela Earhart, Carmen Carlisle, William Moore, Cheryl Schranz.
So she didn't know who it was. Let me tell you who it is. Keith Freeman. Keith Freeman is the city administrator for the village of Dolton. Her right-hand man, that's who handles her day-to-day business. And he's also the city manager for Thornton Township, or he was, because he's recently been fired after his indictment. You heard me correctly. He got indicted, then fired from both of those jobs. That tells you something right there, because it looks bad when you're the mayor and your people are getting indicted, they're getting fired after you've already had these rumors about corruption and you stealing money. That's just not going to play. And then you want to go on a national platform and say, I don't know who this is. I don't know nothing. And that's why Trustee Carlisle put it on blast. And as a matter of fact, if you noticed, the board of the Tiffany Cares Foundation, Trustee Carlisle was on the board. So when she said I was in those rooms, you forget I was in those rooms. She definitely was in those rooms. That's concrete proof right there. We already know. We all seen it. So the mayor may say, I don't know. We got to dig a little deeper into this Keith Freeman character. Let's be smarter than that.
Despite sitting next to Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard at countless meetings, the feds allege Keith Freeman not only failed to report his income from the village, he actively lied about it. Freeman is Henyard's top aide in both Dolton and Thornton Township. As part of a personal bankruptcy case, he was required to report his earnings. But this indictment on one count of bankruptcy fraud says Freeman falsely stated he only worked for the township and made just over $99,000 last year. Prosecutors say he tried to hide his Dolton earnings via a pass-through company, which brought his income to $195,000 last year. They further allege the village of Robbins has a claim against Freeman for more than $90,000 he took without authorization from a previous post he held as village administrator there.
So right here, man, has got indicted. They've even alleging that he took money from another village. It's like, come on, man, y'all people getting in positions of power and then they just get greedy. He already had 2 6-figure checks. He had a check from the village of Dolton coming in at 6 figures or close to, and then another check coming in from Thornton Township of 6 figures or close to. And then I'm sure he was doing consulting and stuff on the side. He may have had other businesses. Then you get indicted. And so Tiffany ends up fighting. That's why you see all this screaming at other meetings. A lot of people see it and they're like, well, what's the big deal? That's why. Let's imagine for a second that we're misinterpreting what's going on and the truth will come out. And Mayor Tiffany Henyard is innocent. This is why everybody's upset, because it looks so damn bad. Even if it's right, it just looks so damn bad. And we got the court that everybody knows of, the court of law, and then the court of public perception. From politics, the court of public perception is going to crucify you before the real court does, because it's just going to look bad even if it's not really that bad. Unfortunately, the public doesn't have all the information as the people who are involved. But if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it might not really be a duck. It could be a cat. But you got to have the knowledge to know that new cats is coming out. It's a different breed of cat. If you don't have that knowledge, it's a duck. And that's how the people going to look at it, like it's a duck. We don't know nothing else about what y'all talking about. It look like a duck. It sound like a duck. It's a damn duck. Now, not only is her city administrator, Keith Freeman, fired and her chief indicted, but here's also the turn of events. So Keith Freeman is gone, but he ain't gone. What do I mean by that? So at first, the board of trustees didn't trust Keith Freeman, but now they're working with him because since Keith Freeman has been fired, the feds have flipped him. And now he's starting to tell on Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Henyard is starting to blame it on Keith. And now Keith is saying, well, I'm going to work with the board of trustees because I want the truth to come out. I want everybody to know what's going on in this house of Dolton. That's what you want the truth to come out. And so since he wants the truth to come out, he's partnered up with the board of trustees. And now he's on their side trying to throw Tiffany Henyard under the bus. And so the question is, well, who's in control now? Because if your city manager, city administrator has been fired and indicted, Tiffany Henyard is being alleged with all of these claims of money mishandling. And now you've recently fired the police chief, and the police chief has also recently got indicted. Well, who's running the show? What is this? What the hell? What is it? That's what the residents is wondering. Let's find out. Let's see what the news is saying.
And a power struggle is also playing out.
It's a police standoff, but it's unlike any you've seen. It's unclear exactly who is running the police department and the rest of the village as Mayor Tiffany Henyard struggles to show that she's still in control. Ben Bradley continues his exclusive reporting from Dolton.
Is there a motion to terminate Keith Freeman?
Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard tried to fire her top aide last week, but was met with silence from trustees who refused to vote on the termination. The standoff is surprising given that trustees once despised village administrator Keith Freeman for helping Henyard run the show in Dolton and Thornton Township, but he's now cooperating with trustees investigating Henyard's spending.
I had trouble following it as well, but now Keith Freeman is cooperating, doing what he should have done in the first place.
Cooperating
with trustees, absolutely, doing his job.
That leads us back to the steps of the Dolton Police Department. Trustees tried to fire Henyard's hand-picked acting police chief, Louis Lacey, after their investigation found he collected $200,000 in overtime that they say he wasn't entitled to. Mayor Henyard wasn't having it. She insists Lacey is still the village's top cop. Dolton police officers and commanders received an email summoning them to a mandatory meeting with Mayor Henyard and Chief Lacey. Soon after, Freeman fired off a reply that read, Louis Lacey is no longer employed by the village of Dolton. Mr. Lacey is not allowed in any spaces reserved for employees without an escort.
We'd like to talk to you about whether you're still running things here in Dolton.
Lacey arrived for the hastily called meeting, but sat in his suit.
Look at this Durango. I think that's a Durango. I mean, it's pretty fly.
A standoff.
As the minutes ticked by, Lacey drove around looking for a way into the station.
So somebody closed the garage.
Look at that Tahoe. That Tahoe fly too. That's where all the money been going, man. They've been buying these trucks and cars and lions and bears.
She circled the station looking to avoid our cameras and questions.
For more than half an hour, we've been playing this cat and mouse game with the acting police chief and now Mayor Henyard.
Lacey later returned, but still wasn't talking. WGN Investigates obtained video of Henyard telling police commanders this afternoon she and Lacey are still running things.
Keith Freeman do not work here, he's fired. So stop playing these silly games, board of trustees, and putting people's lives in jeopardy.
Mayor Henyard is now trying to pin the blame for more than $100,000 in questionable spending on first-class air travel, luxury hotels, meals, and more on her once trusted aide, Keith Freeman. But remember, Henyard frequently reminds her critics she's the boss. Both Freeman and acting police chief Lacey are facing pressure to cooperate in the ongoing federal investigation after prosecutors charged both of them with bankruptcy fraud in separate cases. As the power play plays out, it's residents who suffer. Many voice their frustrations at the most recent village board meeting.
What about us? What about our fears? What about our tax dollars? I wish the FBI is around the corner so they can come and raid this place because all of y'all deserve to go to jail.
In Dolton, Ben Bradley, WGN Investigates.
It ain't funny because at the end of the day, who loses? It's the residents. This ain't Tiffany's money. The residents lose. The residents deserve a quality police chief so they'll be safe. They also deserve a quality city manager because the mayor can't do it all. The mayor's supposed to be building relationships and fostering resources to the community while the city manager is dealing with the day-to-day issues A good city manager helps hold the city up. Even better mayor is what moves the city forward. And what protects that city? A good police chief. And apparently they don't have any one of the three. And we laugh, we joke because it's so outlandish what's going on in Thornton Township and the village of Dolton, but this is hurting the residents. This is unfortunate. Out of 17 municipalities in Thornton Township, there's one black mayor that happens to be female, and it's Mayor Tiffany Dolton. And look how that community is going. I think they cast a horrible shadow on leaders, frankly, on black women, because there are too many great black women out here, great leaders, for someone to take a position like this one that Tiffany Henyard is taking and make it look so crazy. So anyway, it's much more to cover. So we're going to put that on. We're going to put Tiffany Henyard on the shelf for right now and get into another issue. I have told you guys several times what my mission is and what I'm concerned with. Local government, local government, local government. I know we get so hyped up about the DNC and what's going on with Kamala versus Donald Trump and all of that. But I try to remind people that you can have the best president in the world, but if you have a horrible mayor, horrible board, horrible judges, horrible prosecutors, you're going to have a rough time, a bad city. Now, if you got a horrible president, but you got a good legal system, good prosecutors, good judges, good mayors, good boards, that city should be okay.